Laguna Seca. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race 1 at Laguna Seca. We'll see Nick Sorensen and Adam Barker on the front row. Yannick Gunther, Max Gunther on the second row. Rudolph Gunther and Mike Marshall have the third row. David Garman, Nicole Kriesel on the fourth. Avery Walker will round out the field for race 1. Harry Volsmere practiced but is not racing. Ronnie Wimberly is in session. We expect him for race 2. All the drivers getting stacked up and ready to go. Quick look at the track temperature. It has gone up just a hair. Air temperature 66, track temperature 70. That track temperature up just 3 degrees from practice. Not a huge amount that shouldn't have much of an impact on the drivers and the tire wear. A McLaren and a Lambo on the front row this morning. Definitely an interesting combo up there. And McLaren has been the dominant car all season long, though. And, of course, the 3 Porsches back behind of Team Gunther, Yannick, Max, and Rudolph. Avery Walker did not score a time, starts back in 9th. That's going to be interesting given Avery was fastest in practice. And here we go. Porsche pace car rolls off, leading them down. And the pace car hits that windy, tight pit road as they come into the final turn. Sorensen in control. Out of the final turn, Sorensen is fired. They are down and away. Green flag is in the air at Laguna Seca. Over the top of the hill, down into the hairpin. Will we see problems coming through the hairpin the first time? So far, no trouble on track. David Garman trying to hold on. Avery already up into 7th place. Avery on the move. Nick Sorensen, the McLaren, is trying to pull away here in the early going. Barker trying to stay with him in the Lambo as they head through the kink and up the hill toward the corkscrew for the first time. The corkscrew can get you the win or cost you the race. But it looks like everybody makes it safely out of the corkscrew this morning. A bit of battling back behind as Avery Walker continues to attack. He has got to the back bumper of Mike Marshall as they cross the start-finish line. Can't find anywhere to make the move at the moment. Yannick and Max Gunther 3rd and 4th. Rudolph back in 5th. Mike Marshall and the vet tried to make the move on Rudolph. Couldn't do it. Now Avery sets up to the inside but can't get there. The Mustang of David Garman back in the mix as well. His battle back behind. Oh, Mike Marshall goes a little bit wide, opens the door. Avery drops in. Avery now up to 6, sets his sights on Rudolph. Back down into the corkscrew. That first couple of turns of the corkscrew can cost you an entire race. Just one mistake there, but nobody has made one yet. Sorensen and Barker out front. Sorensen an 0.8 of a second lead. And Sorensen just set the fastest lap so far, 1:22.09. Avery Walker is on the back bumper of Rudolph Gunther. He continues his attack and his march toward the front. Adam Barker has had an off track a moment ago. Looks like he just slid wide. We'll take a look here in a moment. As we ride along with Nick Sorensen up the hill toward the corkscrew in the McLaren. He gets to the top on the brakes hard. Left-hander, right-hander, 6-story drop through these few turns, down through the corkscrew and toward the start-finish line. It's definitely fun and a little scary coming down through the corkscrew every time. Avery Walker goes to the outside through the final turn. He's got a big run. Avery now makes the move into 5th, up 4 spots already. Sorensen has opened up a 1-second lead over Barker. Yannick in 3rd, about 3 seconds back. Max in 4th, right there with him. Avery Walker 2.6 seconds behind Max. He is closing the gap. Now that Avery has some clean air, we could see him set the fastest lap. As fast as he has been coming through the traffic this morning, anything is possible for Avery. Garmin has had a problem back behind. Let's take a look at Barker's earlier incident and let's see what happened with Garmy. Adam Barker in the Lambo. Oh, looked like he just got the bump. Got that sausage at the apex, went a little wide. Then a few moments later, David Garmin in the Mustang. Looks like coming through the kink. He got the sausage at the apex of the kink and sent that Mustang all the way around. And folks, Ronnie Wimberly is on pit road, could be out on track in a moment. We have not seen Ronnie at all this season. It'll be great to have him back on track. Nick Sorensen's lead continues to grow over Barker, now 2.8 seconds. Yannick in 3rd, 2.8 back. Max still right there with him, but Avery Walker continuing his march. Avery now 1.25 seconds. Rudolph Gunther has had a problem. There's Rudolph coming into those. Oh, just gets that sausage at the apex of the turn. It sends the car around on the second to last turn. He does get it turned around, righted and pointed the right way, but he lost a position and a lot of time. Sorensen's lead now almost 3 seconds already over Barker, as Avery Walker has caught up to the Gunthers. He is now right on Max Gunther's back bumper, with Yannick Gunther just ahead. Avery's march this morning has been extraordinary. The question now is, does he have enough speed to clear the traffic ahead? Could he run Sorensen down? Still 11 and a half minutes to go. He has come through all the traffic so far. A podium easily possible. The win still possible. Avery sitting right on the bumper of Max Gunther. All the drivers definitely testing the track limits here this morning to carry as much speed as possible in and out of every turn. And folks, Ronnie Wimberly is out on track. Great to see Ronnie back out. Make sure you check him out, Quad Racing, on Twitch. Avery Walker has finally gotten past Max Gunther. Avery now to fourth. And sets his sights on third place, Yannick Gunther. Avery's march continues to move forward. Nobody has slowed Avery down as yet. And I doubt he is behind Yannick for very long. Sorensen is lead now 4 1/4 seconds over Barker. Yannick Gunther back in third, with Avery on his bumper all the way around this track. Adam Barker up in second, is 4 seconds ahead of Yannick at the moment, but 4.5 seconds behind the leader. Nick Sorensen is just checked out going into race 2. The top 7 will invert. That will put, as of right now, Nick Sorensen starting race 2 in 7th. Avery Walker, I don't think it mattered where he started this morning. And especially with that surprise caution coming in race 2, anything could happen. For the moment, Yannick holds on to third. Avery's been on his bumper for about a lap and a half now, but hasn't found a way past. Avery staying right with him as they come over the hill. Can he get the run into one? No, he does. No, he looks down to the inside. Can't get it in, though. Nick Sorensen just out for a casual Sunday drive now. His lead 5.3 seconds over the Lamborghini of Adam Barker. Yannick in third, Avery in fourth, Max in fifth, nose to tail. Avery trying to make the move into the corkscrew. He had the nose in, but it wasn't enough. Quite a battle for third, fourth, and fifth going on right now. The top two have to be loving that Avery has been held up by Team Gunther. Avery keeps peaking every single turn, just can't get the momentum. Max Gunther still right behind. He has backed off a hair as this is played out. Hoping one of the two ahead make a mistake and he can drive through it. Here we go. Avery looks again, can't get there into the kink. Avery keeps looking, but Yannick keeps shutting the door. Ronnie Wimberly back behind us had a problem. Ronnie coming through that first sector. Looks like he just got in a little deep, a little too much braking. Easy to do on that corner. Does get it rolling once again. Sorensen's lead now over 5.5 seconds over Barker. Yannick Gunther, for the moment, still holds on to third place. But the question is, how much longer? Here goes Avery. He's finally got the run and the line as they go up the hill into the corkscrew. Yannick sends it deep. It's a drag race down the mountain, and Avery Walker finally gets it done. Avery now in third, but it may be too late. Avery now 7 seconds behind second place, Adam Barker. Nick Sorensen 6.25 seconds ahead of Barker at the moment. Three minutes left on the clock, 7 seconds behind. I don't see Avery running laps fast enough to run down either of the top two but you have to wonder how much of that gap will be closed. Hey, good morning, Dazzy. Yannick Gunther, Max Gunther, 4th and 5th. Mike Marshall currently in 6th. David Garman back in 7th. Rudolph Gunther in 8th. Nicole, that's what she said, Kriesel in 9th. Ronnie Wimberly in 10th. And Ronnie starting to put down some fast laps. He has not missed a step in his absence. My pleasure, Dazzy. How are you this morning, buddy? Sorensen's lead 7 seconds over Adam Barker. Avery already chopping away at that 7-second lead to Barker. He's now just 6.3 seconds behind. He is closing rapidly, but will not have enough time to get there unless Barker makes a mistake. But this does not bode well for the other drivers in race 2. As of right now, Avery will start race 2 in 5th place. He's picked up 6 spots so far in this race. That ought to tell you a little something about the way race 2 is gonna go. The white flag flies one more time around. Sorensen just has to cruise from here. Sorensen has a 7.5 second lead over Adam Barker in 2nd. And Avery Walker in 3rd. Just 5.5 seconds behind Barker. He continues to be the fastest car on track. Yannick Gunther in 4th, Max Gunther in 5th, Mike Marshall in 6th, David Garman in 7th, and Rudolph Gunther back in 8th. Nicole, that's what she said, Kriesel in 9th. Coming through the final set of turns, Nick Sorensen has led from the drop of the green out of the final turn. Nick Sorensen gets the win in race 1 at Laguna Seca. Adam Barker will come across the line in 2nd. Avery Walker comes across just 5 seconds later in 3rd. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with Avery. Avery, if it hadn't been for Team Gunther, how badly would you have beat the field this morning?
We'll see. We'll see. There was plenty of time to get to Adam and Nick, and I definitely found out how difficult it is to pass around here, so I think it would have been close, and the Gunthers put up a great defense.
Yeah, they did. Man, that was an awesome run. We just watched you march by people, despite how hard it is to pass. It only seemed to struggle a couple of times to get past folks.
Yeah, Yannick and we were pretty close, and it's just really difficult to make the move if you're like similar in pace, so we'll see.
Well, man, a big surprise coming in race 2, that caution. Does that help or hurt you?
I think it'll help, because I think I'm starting in 4th, so it might help, get closer to some of the guys in front.
Well, man, great run. Congratulations and good luck in race 2.
All right, thank you.
Adam Barker coming home in second. Adam, one heck of a run. I think the best finish for the Lambo this season.
Yeah, really, really hard race. I got a good launch. Lucky to be starting on the first row, so just trying to stay in Nick's draft as long as possible, pull him away from the rest of the crew. And Avery was struggling with qualifying as well, so he had to come back from the back. So I was using my time to run away as quick as possible. But Nick is just super consistent around here. He definitely knows what he's doing here.
He definitely did seem to. You mentioned having the time to run away. As soon as you knew he was in third, how much were you watching the mirror?
I knew I'd built up quite a gap, so I wasn't too fussed. And then the silly little mistakes started to creep in. So just refocus for the next race and get back at it.
Well, great run. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And finally, our winner, Nick Sorensen. Nick, you ran away from the start and never looked back. It was just a Sunday drive for you.
Yeah, it was a Sunday drive.
Now
Big gap there between those guys.
it definitely was, but now your Sunday drive includes traffic this time around.
Yeah, well, that's always the story. If you do well in the first race, you got to try and make it through back to the front in the second race. And unfortunately, we have Avery and Adam who are lightning quick now towards the front of that pack, so it's going to be a challenge to catch them.
I have to say that McLaren has just been the dominant car all season long. It's definitely the fastest around almost every track. Did it give you a bit of an advantage, and will that help in race 2? Is there anywhere that car is just faster than everybody else you can take advantage of it?
Actually, no. I was worried because the Porsche and the Lamborghini are the quick cars around here. I'm just feel really comfortable in the McLaren, so I'm able to do some consistently good laps. But no, there's no advantage really. It's who can drive the course the best today.
Well, man, good luck. Congratulations on the win, and good luck in race 2, buddy.
All right, thanks, Doug.
So Nick Sorensen wins race 1. A lot of drivers getting out to practice. Pit road entry here today. And as we mentioned, a big surprise coming into race 2. For the first time ever, there will be a random full course caution at some point during race 2. That will give the drivers an opportunity to hit pit road under caution. For tires and fuel, it will tighten the field back up. That ought to make things extremely fun. Great to see Ronnie back out on track. No surprise, Ronnie back in the Ferrari. And don't forget to check Ronnie out on Twitch, Quad Racing. He does a lot of racing, and if you can catch him racing at the Nürburgring, man, that is impressive. Remember, he is a quadriplegic. He does these races just with the quad stick in his mouth. And I don't know how many wins he's had at the Nürburgring, but it's a lot. You also get to catch him playing some other games with the quad stick, and everything he does is really, really impressive. Make sure you check him out. Warm-up is over. Track temperature cooling just a little bit. And here we go, race number 2, the top 7 inverted, putting the Mustang of David Gorman on the front row next to Mike Marshall. Max Gunther, Yannick Gunther on the second row, Avery Walker, Adam Barker on the third row. Nick Sorensen, by virtue of the win in race 1, starts in 7th next to Rudolph Gunther in 8th. Nicole Kriesel and Ronnie Wimberly round out the top 10. Harry Volsmere not racing. Track temperature holding about 70 degrees. Air temperature a little bit warmer. And here they come out of the final turn. Gourmet has fired. They are away, and green is in the air. Garmin leads them into the hairpin turn 1. A lot of action back behind. And a lot of side-by-side. Mike Marshall trying to hold on to second, but Max Gunther pushes by. Yannick Gunther not far behind. Adam Barker right there with him. Avery Walker in 6th. Sorensen has slipped back into 8th place for the moment and has Wimberly right on his bumper. Garmin powering up the hill into the corkscrew. Remember that Mustang, very, very little rear grip as we have seen all season long, but so far he makes it down, and there is a problem. And a caution has flown. Looks like Adam Barker, Mike Marshall, Rudolph Gunther all involved. Let's see what the heck happened. Coming up the hill toward the corkscrew. Oh, Mike Marshall got a bump from behind. Looking down from the blimp, there is Mike in the red Corvette. Oh, just gets a bump from one of the Gunthers, goes around, and everybody kind of stacks up back behind. One more look at this. Adam Barker had nowhere to go. He was positioned right there, manages to go wide, but then the spin of Mike Marshall comes right across his nose. Bumpy start. They are still single file at the moment. They do have this set up for quickie caution, so we may be back to green as soon as they come across. It does look like they're going to let him get to pit road. Sorensen is in. Looks like that is the only driver. No, Adam Barker and Rudolph Gunther have both also come in. Sorensen just in for repairs and back out. Lights are already out. They will go back green flag racing. Edmund, I wish you were here this morning as well, buddy. It'd make for some awesome racing. Tell your boss to give you Sundays off, buddy. Tell him you got important racing to do. Pace car is back in. David Gorman in control out of the final turn. He fires as soon as they are lined out. Green flag in the air. Gorman timed the launch perfectly. He caught Yannick and Max sleeping. And don't look now, Avery back on the attack. Avery manages to make his way to fourth. Ronnie Wimberly now into fifth. Oh, Wimberly a little bit wide, but holds on to it. Adam Barker back in sixth. You can also catch Ronnie's past streams on his YouTube channel, I believe, also called Quad Racing. I cannot talk enough about Ronnie. I've spent hours watching him, a truly impressive individual. Yep, Edmund, I've been there, buddy. The Porsches lead the way at the moment. Yannick Gunther, Max Gunther, Avery Walker out front. David Garman had an incident, went off track. Garmy has slipped back into fourth. We've got more cars off track. Sorensen's off. Nicole is off. Chaos back behind. See if we can take a look at some of these incidents. There's Garman leading as they come up the hill. Oh! In the kink, gets the sausage. The Mustang goes off into the dirt. Nick Sorensen back behind as well. Sorensen, whoa, he gets the sausage and it shoots him out. And Nicole Kriesel trying to run him down. Just overshoots the exit. She ends off in the dirt. Yannick Gunther and Max Gunther have the lead, but Avery Walker, who monstered through the field in race one, is right on their bumper. Garman back and forth, Barker in fifth. Barker has the fastest lap at the moment. Sorensen on the attack. Sorensen just moved into sixth. Sorensen also just set the fastest lap, beating Barker's. Don't forget to come back tonight a little after 7 Eastern. We do have dirt racing back on the channel. I am a bit excited about it. as a special event at I-55 tonight. Team Gunther doing battle up front, cannot be good. Avery right behind him. Max side by side with Yannick into the corkscrew. Yannick pulls ahead. They almost open the door for Avery. That did allow Garmin and Barker to close up, bringing Sorensen with them. Avery did get a little bit better run out of that final turn. Can he take advantage? Into the first turn, that hairpin. Avery peeks it a little bit low. We've got one wide. Max goes wide, opens the door. And immediately shuts the door back. Avery couldn't get through. Sorensen, who won race one, still lurking back behind. Mike Marshall in seventh. He has locked up the amateur division. He has locked up the amateur division championship for this season. Yannick Gunther still in the lead. Avery has made his way to second. Avery had been all over Max's bumper. Max had a slowdown. Looks like as they came up the hill through the kink, Avery goes a little wide, but keeps his foot in it. They're side by side into the corkscrew. And Avery just powers out a little bit better. Yannick Gunther out front by 1.3 seconds. But for how much longer? Remember, we saw the caution earlier. Will we see another surprise caution here? Coming down out of the corkscrew, Avery getting closer and closer. Max lurking back in third, Garmy in fourth, Adam Barker in fifth, Sorensen in sixth, Mike Marshall in seventh, Ronnie Wimberly still holds on to eighth, Rudolph Gunther in ninth, and Nicole, that's what she said, Kriesel loses the back end. On power, the back end of that Corvette just stepping out. She quickly recovers and heads up the hill. Yannick Gunther's lead is non-existent. Avery is there. Yannick was able to hold him off for a couple of laps in race one, but it's unlikely he's going to be able to do the same thing in race two. Avery got to sit on his bumper quite a while and learn from the moves he saw. Garmin, Barker, and Sorensen still nose to tail at the moment. Barker looking for the opportunity to make the attack, and he may have it. Looks to the inside, down into the first turn. He's got to run. Oh, contact. Garmin's around. Garmin's around into the wall. Barker gets by. He checks up, and Sorensen gets by. There they are coming out of the hairpin, and Barker just barely taps the Mustang. Garmin keeps it out of the wall. Sorensen right behind, perfectly positioned to take advantage. There's the tap. Sorensen looks down low and shoots by Barker and Garmin. And Avery Walker has taken the lead, and a big wreck in the final turn. Max Gunther has had a problem. Let's take a look at these incidents. Avery right on the bumper as they come down through the corkscrew. Yannick problems in the middle of the corkscrew. And Avery, no problem whatsoever. Mac behind, Max Gunther right behind Yannick as they go into the final turn. Oh, gets on the brakes a little too hard, steps out. Barker gets into him. Well, the last two laps have seen a lot of this field flip-flopped here. Avery Walker now to the lead. Yannick Gunther in second. Nick Sorensen now up to third. Barker in fourth. Mike Marshall currently in fifth. Max Gunther back to sixth. Ronnie Wimberly in seventh. Rudolph Gunther in eighth. Garmy back to ninth, and Nicole in 10th. David Garmin closing in on Rudolph Gunther in 8th as he begins to try and attack back to the front. Avery Walker starting to pull away from Yannick already, 2.3 seconds. Nick Sorensen in third. Barker in fourth. Mike Marshall in fifth, closing in on Barker at the moment. Max Gunther in sixth. Ronnie Wimberly up 3 spots now into seventh. Rudolph Gunther in 8th, David Garmin in 9th, and Nicole Kriesel still holds 10th. And Avery, who has been fastest all morning, has the lead and is walking away. You know, Dazzy, I love the Deadpools, man. Yannick Gunther in second is losing ground. Sorensen on the march. Sorensen about 1.5 seconds behind second place. Yannick Gunther and closing. Sorensen had that big win in race 1. The question is, if he gets to Avery, which one is faster? Adam Barker back and forth. Mike Marshall still has 5th, but has Max Gunther right on his bumper again. David Gorman is taking the car to pit road. He had had a few off tracks a moment ago. That car is beat up. See if we can see what happened to Gorman. There's Gorman coming up toward the kink, overshoots into the sand, across and into the tire wall. Get a different angle on this. There's Gorman. He comes through, and there is a bit of a dip there that unsettles the car. He slams that wall, and the front end comes off. Heartbreaking morning for Garmy as he started this race on the pole. Had a perfect start and restart. Avery's lead now 5.6 seconds over Yannick. And Yannick has his hands full. Sorensen has caught him. Remember, Sorensen said that McLaren did not seem to have an advantage here in any particular fashion, but I think we're about to find out if and where it does. Definitely seems to carry a little more momentum out of the high-speed turns. And we do know the McLaren is fast, has more straight line speed than the Porsche, but coming over the hill, he doesn't gain any significant ground. But wow, what a dive into the first turn. Sorensen on the power. On the outside through the next 2 turns, but he keeps inching ahead. He'll have the inside, and he takes second place. Nick Sorensen now to second. He is 6 seconds behind the leader. And has shot away from Yannick like a bullet. Adam Barker back and forth. Mike Marshall in 5th, still holding Max Gunther off. Marshall able to power out of that final turn with the Chevy's power. Opening up a gap and keeping Gunther behind him. Rudolph Gunther now back behind in 7th. Ronnie Wimberly in 8th. Nicole in 9th. Garmin is back out on track in 10th. Avery Walker's lead, 5.88 seconds over Sorensen. Both drivers have quite a bit of clean air for the moment. Will be interesting to see which of these two drivers and cars are faster. Nick Sorensen now about 6 seconds behind, but has already pulled a 2.3 second gap on 3rd place, Yannick Gunther. Adam Barker in 4th, about 4.8 seconds back from Yannick. He is not gaining any ground at the moment, despite the fact many of the drivers said the Lambo was the fastest car around this track this week. Mike Marshall, for the moment, still holds Max Gunther at bay. Just past halfway, we could start seeing some drivers on pit road for their fuel stop. But will we see that second caution, a surprise caution here? That is the question. Avery Walker holding that gap at about 6 seconds over Sorensen. No clear advantage at the moment. Both drivers just appear to be almost dead equal. Yannick Gunther in 3rd has not made up any ground on Sorensen at all. In fact, almost 4 seconds back now. Adam Barker 4.5 seconds back from Yannick, not gaining any ground. Mike Marshall still holds on to 5th and holds Max at bay. Mike Marshall, also worth noting, will be the first ever NSS amateur champ. With the new pro versus amateur this season, Nicole Kriesel has had a problem. She has gone to pit road. Nicole just coming out of the corkscrew. Looks like she just pulled off track and parked it. Avery's lead out front still holds at 6 seconds over Sorensen. Yannick back in 3rd. Yannick continues to pull away from 4th place. Adam Barker. Mike Marshall in 5th doing an amazing job of holding off Max Gunther. Max keeps trying to make the move. He does have an advantage through the turns in the Porsche, but the Chevy's power has won out so far. It might not this time. Max Gunther takes 5th. Mike Marshall slipping back to 6th. Rudolph Gunther back in 7th. Ronnie on his bumper in 8th. Garmin back on track in 9th. Nicole on her way back out on track in 10th. All the drivers will still need to make a fuel stop at some point. The question being now, will they take tires? Track temperature has shot up dramatically now that the cloud cover has lifted. The track temp up 10 degrees, now 79 degrees. Versus 69 throughout most of the morning. Nick Sorensen back in 2nd place, now 6.8 seconds back. Avery has found a little bit more speed as Ronnie Wimberly has had a problem. There's Ronnie coming through turn 2, I believe, gets loose. Oh! Hard hit into the wall for Ronnie. He does tow it in. Hopefully we'll see him back out on track. That car hit hard. Nope, folks, don't forget to come back tonight just after 7 Eastern as we've got dirt racing back tonight at the I-55 racetrack. And, of course, SMR Gen 4 at 9:30 Eastern at Iowa short track racing. Going to be quite a day of racing. Avery crossing the start finish. There is a small chance that they may not make a pit stop here. NSS does have a lap limit. Very few tracks have we seen it come into play, but it may very well come into play here at Laguna Seca, given the lap times about 1:22. They may be able to make it to the lap limit, I believe 30 laps. They may be able to make it to 30 laps without filling up, without any more fuel than what they started with. We'll have to see how things play out in the next 15 minutes. Definitely could be an interesting finish to this one. Ronnie Wimberly has come back out on track. Nicole Kriesel also back out on track, so all 10 cars still rolling. Nick Sorensen in second, still 6.7 seconds back. Yannick Gunther in third as Adam Barker has finally managed to gain some ground. Looks like the Lambo has a little bit better tire wear here this morning, as he is just about caught up to Yannick. Max back in fifth, starting to gain some ground too, but he is 7.25 seconds back. Mike Marshall back in sixth, Rudolph in seventh, Ronnie Wimberly currently running in eighth, Garmin out of the race in ninth, Nicole in 10th. And looks like we are going to see pit stops. Yannick Gunther is in. Will it be fuel or fuel and tires? That long pit road here at Laguna Seca. He hits his stall and it looks like it will be a fuel only stop. Avery Walker out front. Yannick on his way back out. So we could see some fuel stops here this morning. Despite the track temperature, I don't think we're going to see any tire stops, especially this late in the race. Max Gunther on his way in. Mike Marshall is in. Pit stops are underway with just about 12 minutes left to go. Nicole Kriesel had a problem a moment ago. As you saw, she is on pit road. Neither Gunther nor Marshall taking tires. Fuel only stops here. The leader is on pit road. This pit road entry a little bit tricky and can ruin your day. Avery nails it. Nick Sorensen also in. Adam Barker back in third. And Barker brings it in. Yannick Gunther going a little bit wide out of the kink. Avery Walker on his way back off pit road. Sorensen rolls off as well. And it looks like Barker may have taken tires. He did. Adam Barker took tires in third. Rudolph Gunther is in. I suspect Barker took front tires only on this one. He'll hold on to third. Will they make a difference? Rudolph Gunther hits his pit stall. That car not getting tires. Mike Marshall still holds on to 6, but he lost ground on pit road. Max Gunther now about 6 seconds ahead. Out front, Avery's lead still about 5.9 seconds over Sorensen. Barker in third, about 19.9 seconds behind. Yannick Gunther in fourth, 3.9 seconds back, but he is closing. Avery Walker has dominated this race from the drop. Fought his way through from 5th to the lead. And as soon as he got past Yannick, just took off. Nobody has been able to run him down. Sorensen fought hard to get to second, but has not been able to get any closer than about 5.8 seconds. Hey, good morning, Nicole. A rough morning, ma'am. Avery comes back across the start-finish line, just about 8 minutes left to go. His lead back to 6 seconds over Sorensen. Barker in third, took those tires on pit road. He has not been able to gain any ground on Sorensen. Yannick Gunther way off track in fourth. He'll likely have a slowdown, bringing Max even closer. Mike Marshall back in 6th. Rudolph Gunther in 7th. Ronnie Wimberly currently in 8th. David Garman and Nicole Kriesel out of the race. And believe it or not, Avery Walker has pulled away from Sorensen by a couple of tenths of a second. Avery just out for a Sunday drive here. We knew in race 1 he was the fastest car on track. He didn't get through traffic. He did not qualify at all, did not score a qualifying lap. Had to fight his way up into the top 3 in race 1 and is now, after starting race 2 in 5th, fought his way to a 6 1/4 second lead and growing. 5 minutes left to go for Avery Walker. He just marches away. Despite Sorensen pushing that McLaren to its limit, he just can't gain any ground. Yannick Gunther back and forth has made a few mistakes in recent laps. Max Gunther less than 3 seconds behind and closing. Will the brothers battle it out for fourth before the end of the race? Nick Sorensen did pull off the win in race 1 and has been exceedingly fast here in race 2. And that McLaren has looked just bad fast here this morning. But Avery Walker just continues to cruise away from everybody else. Max Gunther now less than 2 seconds behind Yannick. He continues to get closer and closer. Yannick is also closing the 6 1/4 second gap on Barker in third, despite the fact Barker took tires on his stop. And Sorensen has found some speed here in the final laps. He's gained about half a second up on Avery. Adam Barker in the Lambo coming out of the corkscrew. As we mentioned, the drivers have said that was the fastest car this morning, but that has not proven out today. Avery back down through the corkscrew. He has made multiple passes, gutsy passes through the corkscrew here today. Definitely a bold move passing in the corkscrew. He's done it multiple times and made it work every single time. And Barney the flagman waving the white flag for Avery one more time around. Avery's lead holding about 5.8 seconds over Sorensen. Barker back in third. Yannick Gunther in fourth, but Max Gunther right behind in fifth, less than a second behind now. Mike Marshall in sixth, Rudolph Gunther in seventh, and the return of Ronnie Wimberly in eighth. David Garman comes home in ninth. Nicole rounds out the field in 10th. Hey, good good morning, Pudsey. And through the final 2 turns, Avery Walker, the dominant car all morning long. Avery Walker will get the win here at Laguna Seca. Nick Sorensen coming home in second, and Adam Barker in the lone Lambo this morning will finish. Whoa! Will hit the sausage extremely hard and finish in third. And good morning to all the Raiders. Let's talk to our top 3. Adam, you come home in third, but I have to ask, that stop you took tires.
Yeah, just took the single right tire. Yeah. I only had enough time for one, and I was really finding it a bit hard just to get the car turned for turn 1 and 2, and then I was thinking as well, it's going to help me up the hill and through the corkscrew. So just took the one, tried to see if that'd cure a bit of the understeer, and I'd taken a tiny bit of fuel in the yellow flag, so I knew I had a little bit more than the guys ahead. Just tried to save a little bit where I could behind David before we touched. Unfortunately, that was my fault. So I was trying to save as much fuel as possible, and then use it towards the end, which helped me out getting past Yannick.
Definitely did an interesting strategy for sure, man. Congratulations. It looks like you're going to lock up the championship here today.
Yeah, thank you. I think so. Yeah, everyone around's been a little bit spotty with the attendance, so not had too much competition. Hopefully, Avery and Nick and Giancarlo are back soon, and then we can start racing hard again.
Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Adam Barker, the new champion, and a single tire change. This is the first time I have ever heard of that. I've been doing this for over 4 years. Never heard of a single. Anyway, second place this morning, Nick Sorensen. Nick, it seemed like you found some speed with about 10 to go, but just not enough, not soon enough.
No, that's right. Yeah, a little bit later in the race, I was figuring it out. The temperature kind of changed in the track, so I was trying to figure out how to make up some time. And you're right, it was a little bit too late that I found the pace.
Well, it definitely was quite a battle. I wondered if you'd have time to run him down or not. That was one heck of a fight there, though, and a great job this morning. Congratulations.
Yeah, I had to move to the back after the incident, and then go into the pit for the fast repair. And Avery was the best driver today, so congrats to him. And yeah, did my best.
Well, great job, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug.
And finally, Avery Walker gets the win. Avery, that redefines dominance right there.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it. That was difficult. Caution was interesting. Got lucky to survive that. And I don't know if it comes up on the broadcast, but both Nick and I were battling off tracks. So we both ended up at 16 incident points out of like the 19 allowable. Yeah, that was fun.
Well, it was definitely obvious in race 1 that you were the fastest car on track. You fought your way through the chaos and all the passing, and we knew starting race 2, if you could get up front quickly, you get it done. Man, great job.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget dirt racing tonight, 7 Eastern, short track racing at 9:30 Eastern. Man, a big day of racing. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Hope everybody had as much fun as we did. Thank you, Raiders, for coming in. Have a great day, everybody.